God is for us, then who the is against us? Conspiracy or not, strategize and plot. Buy back your block, real estate and stocks. Stack what you got, hold down your spot. Strike while you hot and think the man up top. Conspiracy or not, strategize and plot. Buy back your block, real estate and stocks. Stack what you got, hold down your spot. Strike while you hot and think the man up top. Conspiracy or not, strategize and plot. Buy back your block, real estate and stocks. Stack what you got, hold down your spot. Strike while you hot and think the man up top. Conspiracy or not, strategize and plot. Buy back your block, real estate and stocks. Stack what you got, hold down your spot. Strike while you hot and think the man up top. Conspiracy or not, strategize and plot.
Welcome to the Wealth Mindset with JD Garnier. Listen, I hope you're having a productive week in your wealth creation journey. And as always, my goal is simple: to help you walk in wealth. Mentally, physically, spiritually, and financially. To take the things that God has already given you and use those to create a life of purpose, so that wealth is more than just what you acquire. Wealth is who you become. You are the wealth. It's not your investments. It's not your real estate. It's not your business. It's you. And before you have any of those things, you have a unique and specific set of talents, abilities, gifts, ideas, habits, disciplines, and inclinations that form the basis of everything that you do in this world. And once you tap into that, you build wealth in your life. So again, you are the wealth. Listen, man, I hope you guys are thinking about the new year upcoming. You're planning for what you want to accomplish. You are just thinking about your vision for your life. Nobody's going to write your book. Nobody's going to start your business. And nobody's going to tell your story. And so if you don't do it, then the story goes untold. The business goes unstarted. The book goes unwritten. And nobody knows what you've been through. And so if you have a vision, if you have a purpose, it's up to you to tell that. And now is the time that you need to be planning on how you're going to do that. Normally, when the end of the year comes, I take this time to think about what do I want to accomplish in the upcoming year, what I need to do that. And then I put the numbers together. I always tell you that life is math. And so I do a calculation on what activities I need to do on a daily basis to bring these goals to fruition. And the ultimate goal is to build wealth, right? To be in a position where we're financially independent and to have resources, not only to take care of yourself and your family, but to affect the lives of the people and the things that you care about, right? The more resources you have available, I believe those resources come with a responsibility to affect the things that you're passionate about, that you care about, and the things that are important and relevant to you. The goal is not to make a whole bunch of money or have a whole bunch of wealth just so you can buy what you want to buy. That's an empty life. And so in order to do that, in order to make that kind of money, in order to build that type of wealth, I always hear people say, you got to diversify. You need multiple sources of income. And it is true. The average millionaire has 7 sources of income. But the fact of the matter is, all of that income derives from one source. And so today I want to talk about how to concentrate and then diversify. Because so many times people feel like they have to be doing everything at once. They have to start multiple businesses. They have to have their hand in multiple ideas all at the same time. And what normally happens in those situations is nothing comes to fruition. None of those deals come through. None of those businesses actually manifest themselves. And the reason that's true is because you can do anything, but you can't do everything. You can do anything in this world that you want to do. But if you try to do multiple things at once, you cannot give enough energy for one thing to be successful. The Bible says a double-minded man is unstable in all his ways. And when you try to plant multiple seeds across multiple soils and give them all the same amount of energy, none of them ever see the light of day. None of those seeds ever break ground. None of those seeds ever grow into anything meaningful because you did not concentrate. You started with diversify, but the goal is to concentrate and then diversify. That's how you build wealth. You don't build wealth by jumping out there and in 1 week you're doing this, and the next week you're selling that, and the next week you're starting this business. None of those will ever be fruitful. You have to concentrate and then diversify. And I'll tell you how true this is. You know, people talk about investing all the time. But if you look at the history of the stock market has averaged anywhere from 9 to 11% over the past 150 years, right? But you're investing in public markets. By the time you buy stock in Apple, or you buy stock in Nike, or you buy stock in Nvidia or Google, guess what? The money's already been made. You may participate in the economic growth of that company on a public platform, but the people that have made millions and billions of dollars off of those stock, that money was made when nobody knew what those companies were, because they concentrated their resources and their efforts into something and grew it before they diversified. And so if you're trying to build something, the reason why I'm saying this is because there's no fast path to wealth. There's no fast path. There's no one investment idea that's going to help you invest yourself out of poverty. There's not one stock or one security or one fund or one anything that's going to help you invest yourself out of your conditions. The only way that's going to happen is if you concentrate all of your efforts and all of your energy into one thing, that thing that God called you to do, that thing that God told you to do, that thing that complements your talents, abilities, and gifts, that thing that allows you to maximize your earning potential. That's the thing that is going to be your source of wealth. And once you give everything that you can give to that thing, once you have maximized what you can get out of that, once you have maximized your earning potential, then you take those earnings and then you diversify. That's how it works. See, Elon Musk can have all of these different companies, SpaceX and X, Twitter, and Tesla, because in the beginning, he put all of his efforts into one thing that made him a billionaire. And then he diversified. Jay-Z is a billionaire today, but in the beginning, he concentrated and focused all of his efforts on one thing, his music. And then once that made him a multimillionaire, guess what? He diversified. Tiger Woods is a billionaire athlete. So is LeBron James. But in the beginning, they concentrated all of their efforts and energy into one thing, mastering their sport. And then the money, the wealth that they made from that one thing, they took it and they diversified it into multiple businesses, into multiple ideas. And so if you're trying to build wealth in your life, you're not going to do it by diversifying. You're going to do it by concentrating all of your efforts and all of your energy into your purpose. Now, that purpose may be you going to medical school. It may be you becoming an engineer. It may be you becoming a lawyer. It may be you starting your own business. It may be you working in finance. It may be you teaching. Whatever that purpose is, the goal is you want to be as valuable to that thing as possible. You want to add as much value as possible in whatever your purpose is, because that's going to maximize your earning potential. It's some lawyers that make $100,000 a year, and it's some lawyers that make $10 million a year. They have the same credentials, but one of those put all of their energy and efforts into building something out of that one thing. And so in the beginning, when you have nothing but your talents, abilities, gifts, habits, disciplines, and inclinations, you take that and you invest in yourself to become the best version of yourself as possible, so that you can add value to yourself, to your family, to your community, to your profession, to your business. And the more value you add, the more income you earn. And then you take that income and you diversify. That's how you build wealth. And it pains my heart when I hear athletes that have made tens of millions and hundreds of millions of dollars, and it's difficult for them to maintain it because they got the first step right. They concentrated all of their efforts into that one thing, into mastering their craft, to being so good at what they do that somebody's willing to pay them $100 million. But once you have that, then the next step is to take that and spread it, to make that money work for you. Because in the beginning, we all got to work for our money. In the beginning, we all have to trade our time for money. But if you don't complete the process, if you don't take that wealth and buy assets and create assets and reinvest in yourself to become more of an asset, then you're just on the hamster wheel. You just in the game. You just in the matrix. You just running through the maze. And so concentrate your efforts into that thing that God told you to do. And once you maximize your earning potential, you take that wealth and you diversify. You buy other things of value. You invest your money. I've told you before, stagnant money is dead money. Money that's just sitting in your account, money that's not getting you a rate of return, money that's not moving is dead money. Money needs to be in motion. It needs to be invested in something. It needs to be appreciating in value. You need to take advantage of the numbers. Put compound interest in your favor. That's the whole point of investing. It's so that you can put compound interest in your favor. So that you can get exponential returns that can then replace your income. But in the beginning, you got to concentrate. You have to concentrate, and then you have to diversify. That's how it works. That thing he called you to do, you got to concentrate and do it. When I wrote my first book, I had a goal. I wanted to have a book that was at least 250 to 300 pages, basically 50,000 words. And I wanted it to be a certain length. I didn't want to write a pamphlet, right? I wanted to write a full-length book, but that's not easy to do. I'm working full time. I'm raising my kids. I have family responsibilities as a man. And so writing a book is not an easy thing. And so what I did was I committed to a certain word count a day. And at one point I was doing 1,000 words a day. And at some point I changed it to 500. But the point is, I held myself accountable to a goal. The bigger goal was 50,000 words, but I had to break it down into steps. And then I had to concentrate. And so when it was time for me to write, I turned off my phone. I refused all communication, and I locked in and I focused and I concentrated all of my efforts into putting words on paper. And that 1,000 words a day, eventually you look up and you done wrote 10,000 words. You've written 20,000 words. Now you have a half a book. Now you can't stop, right? You concentrate all of your efforts and energy into that thing until it manifests itself. But you got to concentrate. You got to commit. You got to focus. Nobody's going to write your book. I said that in the beginning. Everybody got a story. Whatever you've been through, I guarantee it resonates with somebody. Somebody can benefit from the lessons that you've learned, but nobody's going to write your book. Nobody's going to tell your story. It's up to you to do it. I always go off on these tangents, and I really want to talk about economics. I really want to talk about finance, but I go off on these tangents because so many times when I meet people, before I get into those topics, I have to challenge the way that they think. I have to challenge the way that they think about wealth, the way that they think about themselves, the way they think about their resources. And that's what I want for the people that's listening. To believe in the baseline mantra that I tell you every day, that you are the wealth. You are the wealth. It's not your investments. It's not your real estate. I can write you a check for $1 million today. I can give you things that you don't have. But if you don't know how to manage those resources, you're going to waste it. And so it is an incumbent upon you to build yourself in a way where you are the thing of value. You are the thing that knows how to handle the asset. And when that happens, it doesn't matter if you lose it or get it. You know how to regain it. The person that builds their wealth from nothing, you could take everything from them and still they are armed with the knowledge, with the wisdom, with the acumen, with the understanding of how to recreate what they lost, because they are the wealth. And so if you're trying to get to that point in life, my advice for you is to concentrate on whatever God called you to do. And once you build that thing up, once you make that into something, whatever that yields you, that's what you diversify. So y'all have a good rest of the afternoon. That's my show today. Always remember, change begins from within.